I've got a question for you.
Oh, okay.
But you
no, you can ask me a question because.
But you've already kind of sort of answered it, but I think they would like to get into this story. Was YouTube your first step into filmmaking?
I guess mainly just because I've been on YouTube for a long time. Like, I've made videos for a long time. Like, I remember when I got my very first phone, I uploaded videos to YouTube, and that channel still exists.
I mean, I would argue that your Snapchat stories were filmmaking.
Yeah, for sure. I
mean, so starting from that,
well, what's funny is I used to, so I had an iPod Touch, and I had an app on there where I could make stop motion videos too. So I'd make little animations with stop motion. That was super fun. You can literally still find that YouTube channel. It's hilarious. I'll have to show you the videos later. It's so cringe. But
is it worthy of show notes?
Maybe. I don't. I mean, if you can find it, then have fun. But I'm not gonna link it.
Was it like
I'm not gonna advertise it?
Was it like Froggy Fart Boy 13? Like, was it some
no,
stupid?
It's my name. Like, I still use the email even for
Okay.
my trash email. It's like my spam email, but that's the email that's linked to that YouTube account. But yeah, I have like not a music video, but like a song that my friend and I recorded. Like, it's weird. But yeah, I've got a bunch of random stuff on that channel. So I guess that was like my first, like, but I never really got very many views. I had one video that had like 10,000 views. I was like,
that was your college dropout video, right?
Before that, when I was really young and I had my first phone, me and my brother, we were into riding like ripsticks and scooters and stuff.
Yeah, I remember you
and
telling
we
me
made this one video that like somehow got ranked like after a while because we were riding these things called the Wave. It was basically the same thing as a ripstick. But it was based in like Australia or something. So the ripstick just got really popular because they were owned by Razer in America, and Razer had like a huge market. But anyways, I made a video called the Ultimate Wave Scooter and Skateboard Video. And so the way that it was tagged, when people searched Wave Scooter, because the company The Wave eventually came out with a scooter, so people would type in the Wave Scooter. And so my video was like the only thing that would pop up. And so the video just got shit tons of views, but the watch time was terrible because everyone's like, oh, this isn't what I'm wanting. But it got so many views. But anyways, so yeah, like I've always loved YouTube, but I never like really spent so much time on it. But you're right. I think my Snapchat stories was probably like a really big help in like storytelling, because I realized that I could tell like a cohesive story through my like travels and stuff through these 10-second clips. So I would, go to the beach one day and I'd be like, okay, what's up guys? I'm going to go to the beach and today I'm going to try to find as many Ferraris as I can or whatever. And so I'd go around, I'd do like segments where I did this one called like, supercar spotting or something. And I was like the crocodile hunter, but I was hunting Ferraris. Oh, what a beautiful specimen. It's a Ferrari FF. Wow. She's a beauty. Let's go take a closer look. And I'd like go in and, find little things, and especially in Italy, I was like finding all kinds of cool cars and stuff. So today we're on the hunt for the rare Ferrari 458. Let's see if we can find one today.
And Snapchat was all in vertical because it was on a phone, yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much. I mean, you could do whatever, but it was mainly in vertical, yes.
And then when did
you could draw and stuff?
When did you transition over? So you were one of the first people I heard that was always talking about vertical. And because that was like for the longest time the cardinal sin of shooting video, like because we all have these phones that we normally keep vertically, but whenever we like really quick reactively, like, oh look, like there's a cop that's like beating up a guy, or like, oh, like there's a Lamborghini on fire, like everyone just like naturally films it in vertical.
Well, people film in vertical, but the thing is back in the day, right when online video started becoming popular, YouTube was a thing, but our phones weren't good enough to watch online video really. So people would watch a lot of video on their computers, and computer monitors are the orientation is wide, and so then you'd film portrait and people would just get mad because they're like, turn your freaking phone sideways, what are you doing? It's like every other form of media is sideways, what are you doing? Stop it. But now that we're all holding our phones vertically, and like, Snapchat stories is a thing and FaceTime is a thing, and there's this new medium, people are holding their phone vertically, and there's actually a lot of studies been done, like a lot of people even in YouTube like
still watch it vertical,
pull full screen. They just watch it in the little screen because whatever.
Jalila will sometimes watch thumbnails with subtitles.
Yeah, dude. I sometimes will catch myself watching like half of a video like that. Mm-hmm. It's weird, but it works, whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently that counts as watch time.
It does, because you can actually, when you scroll past it, it keeps the place where you stopped.
Yeah.
There's also, TikTok is, I think, the first platform that was completely built on vertical.
Snapchat.
Well, Snapchat, okay. And then we got Instagram stories, which was basically Snapchat stolen because
there's no way to ever rotate Instagram until recently. So I guess Instagram is also kind of vertical, but not really.
It was
always squares.
Squares, yeah.
But it was a scrolling vertical.
But I remember you were like, the first time we met, you made a Instagram story.
Yeah, so that was when
video that you'd like edited. You had made it like a full video, like to be consumed in vertical.
Yeah, so basically I went to a conference that my friend Ryan McGinn was hosting, and he was talking about like the emergence of vertical video and why it's important. And he was noticing all these trends. For example, Spotify, they pay artists or whatever to make these little vertical music videos that play when you play a song.
And it's only a few seconds. It's not actually long.
Some of them are full videos. Like Billie Eilish has like full videos when you play her songs, like they're actual full music videos. Most of them are basically boomerangs.
Yeah.
They're not like full music
like
videos.
10, 15 seconds of just
But if you go on like her YouTube channel, it literally says like, you should see me in a crown vertical video. And then it's like in the description, it's like vertical video made for Spotify or whatever. Like I'm pretty confident that Spotify probably paid for the production of that because they wanted like the exclusive video or whatever. Who knows? But, or maybe it was a partnership. Maybe they paid half and half. Who freaking knows? Either way. But Ryan was seeing like how important Instagram stories was. And he's like, dude, these companies like Red Bull and GoPro and they're producing all this high-end content for their stories that's vertical. And there's this dude named Jesse Driftwood. He was one of the first guys to like really put in time making these epic vertical stories, like edited vlogs for Instagram stories. So he'd literally turn his camera sideways and shoot in vertical. And so Ryan was like, oh my gosh, this is like next level shit because no one is spending the quality time to make good Instagram stories. Everyone's just goofing like, oh, me drunk at the bar. Like Instagram stories is...
Well, I mean, that's kind of
in the beginning, that's what it was. Well, that's what Snapchat stories was, right? So, but with Instagram stories, you could upload stuff. With Snapchat, you could only upload from the camera itself.
Not like that anymore, though.
Now
right?
you can upload whatever. But in the beginning, you could only upload from the built-in Snapchat camera. So, he was seeing this emergence of vertical video and he's like, dude, I see it coming. It's happening. Like there's so much vertical stuff. And it was right when IGTV was launching. And he was like, I think at some point stories and IGTV are going to like merge somehow. I think Instagram's going full in on this vertical thing. Like everyone's holding their phone this way. Like it's very engaging. If you're making videos that are designed to be on Instagram, you need to be making vertical videos because they're the most engaging, blah, 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 blah. So I took it to heart and I just started making all these like edited vlogs on a GoPro. Like literally I would turn my GoPro sideways and just make like these little daily vlogs. And I made a video like every day for like a couple months.
Wasn't your gym video like the very first one you ever did?
Yeah.
You did a workout?
I bought the GoPro on eBay and then it came that day. And then I went to the gym that night and like shot a little mini like edit. It was like 30 seconds.
And that was what, end of 2016? Like it was pretty recent.
Yeah, something like that. End of 26. No, because I'd already started my podcast. It was like the end of like 2017.
End of 2017. I remember seeing that and being like, nice.
Yeah, and the thing is like because it was after I had started my podcast too. Because before that, I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a laptop to edit anything. Even if I did have a camera, my laptop was terrible. And then like. Not only that, but it was just like it was kind of like with the podcast, it was like I needed to get other ducks in a row before I spent money on like fun stuff. You know what I mean? It's like I need to like move out of my parents' house. I need to like buy a car. I need to like, do like adult things before it's like, I'm going to go buy a $2,000 camera. Fun. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to splurge on a laptop that's for making vlogs. Like, you know, like that's not a priority. Right. But when I started the podcast, that kind of gave me an excuse to start like getting back into that creative mindset. And then I just started like teaching myself through trial and error. And really at the time, like no one was making edited like vertical stuff. And now tons of people are, like so many. I mean, I literally have seen like behind the scenes stuff where they'll be shooting like Red Bull, for example. They'll have like a main shooter and then they'll have like a second shooter who's shooting for vertical. Like they're actually flipping their camera. And a lot of these guys are shooting in like 4K, 8K. So cropping in's not a big problem.
Right.
But like, you know, it's like, hello, if you're shooting the video with the intent that it's going to end up on a vertical platform, then shoot in vertical. Like there's no problem with that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's a lot of people that
breaking the rules, but for why?
They don't take the strategy to think,
I'm not gonna,
how is this going to be seen? No one.
I'm not going to shoot a feature film vertically, you know, like no shit. Like that's designed to be watched for a long time on a big screen with good audio. Like it's not designed to be watched in your hand, but for a quick, cool promo, the best way to capture your attention is you got to take up screen real estate. And if you're scrolling through Instagram, it's a vertical scrolling. So you got to take up as much vertical space as possible. And same with stories. So that was kind of what I was doing. And then that just turned into me finally buying like a good camera because I wanted to like try vlogging, like kind of like Casey Neistat style.
Was it the 70D or the Rebel?
I never owned a Rebel. I just borrowed one from a friend.
Yeah, but this because the Rebel doesn't have video, right?
It does, but it's crap.
It's bad. Yeah,
it's just not a great. I mean, it's an okay starter camera, I guess, but like
a 70D with a Rode shotgun and a Gorilla Pod is like the Neistat setup.
It basically. Literally is the Neistat setup. So I was like, I just wanted to copy Casey, try vlogging a little bit, and
you did that for a couple of days, and I remember you telling me you're like, it's lame.
Well, no,
you're like, it's hard to keep up with, and no one cares, and no one's watching, so whatever.
Yeah, I still have a bunch of the footage still sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Like I have one where I like went to the zoo and got a bunch of cool footage of like animals, and I did a lot of cool stuff with like my footage. It was more fun. It was honestly a good experience to just like go around and shoot stuff, but I never ended up editing it and like releasing it anywhere really. I made like 3 vlogs or something, 3 or 4. But yeah, it was just hard to keep up. Because it's like, no one cares. This isn't making me any money. No one's going to watch this, blah, blah, blah. You know, like imposter syndrome, all that kind of shit. And so, and I was at the time like spending so much time on my personal podcast too, which is actually getting traction. And so it was like, I'm just going to spend the time on the podcast. But yeah, so I had like that camera. And then when we started working together, I was still using that camera, the 70D.
We didn't shoot many videos and with that one. And
we shot the most viral one though.
Yeah, still the one with the most views. And I remember at one point you were like, I need a different camera. And I was like, why? And you told me all the reasons why. And I was like, okay, let's get you a different camera. And you're like, okay, well, I know a guy who has one that is going to give it to us on a deal. So let's do it. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
It was honestly perfect. Shout out Randall Blizzard. Mm-hmm. He was selling. I went and did his podcast. He had a podcast, or he has a podcast. He hasn't uploaded in a while, but it's the Late Night Startup. And he owns a video production company, and I remember going into his studio and just being like blown away.
Got big commercial clients that the camera he gave us was too weak for those clients.
Yeah, that was a camera that he literally bought on a whim for doing like family vlogs and stuff. He was like, oh, I want to like use it when I go to the beach and stuff. Like that was why he bought it, and then he just never used it. So he sold us that camera and 2 lenses. He was super cool too. He let us borrow it for like a couple of days.
Yeah, he was like, if you want to try it first, you can. And I think it's because he knew we were going to love it. So he was like, yeah,
probably. But also it was sitting on a shelf for like a year and he never touched it. So he's like, I don't use it. So sure, like you can borrow it and like let me know if you want it. So that was cool. And that's the camera we're using right now, actually. It's the Panasonic GH5. Hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode that clip was from, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you want to watch more clips, we got 2 more right here.